Grab that special someone and come dance the night away this Valentine's Day with the Knickerbocker All-Stars live at the Nick. It'll be a night you'll remember forever, dancing to the music that you can never forget. Get your tickets for the Valentine's Day swing dance at the Nick today at nickmusic.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mindset Mastery with Paul Jancarella Jr. And today, first of all, I just want to say, if you're watching this live, today's show, you just saw the ad for the Knickerbocker All-Stars live at the Nick this Friday night, Valentine's Day. So grab that special someone and go dance the night away at the Nick. You gonna take Betty?
I'm not gonna grab her, but I'm gonna maybe ask her to
go. You should. And by the way, also, not a sponsor, but the one of the reasons why we're here, Toscano's Men's Shop.
Yes.
Go to Toscano's Men's Shop. We will be there on Saturday for Sports Open Mic.
Sports Open Mic.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Has
there
Mike Pops been quiet? In other words, during the show,
has he ever been quiet?
Well, that's relative. That's a relative term. Meaning he used to chime in and yell from the background, and you couldn't hear him on the radio. But now that he's got there's mics,
we hand him a mic. Generally,
you do.
Yeah, we hand him a mic and he talks.
He does a little
yeah, and sometimes he'll
cameo.
Yeah. And of course, he also he also decided to just have the show going full blast on the computer, feet away from the mics. I turned to him and I said, Paul, Paulie, we're right in front of you. You're
it's getting double feedback there.
Oh yeah, he's watching it, and it's like he reacted a couple times to points on the computer. Like instead of I'm like, it's right
because there's no delay.
There's like a because he's
second
watching
delay maybe.
He's watching it on YouTube, so there's like
okay. I'm thinking okay.
Yeah,
so it's not immediate then.
He's watching it on YouTube, so there's a roughly 5-second delay.
Okay, so
he's like I looked over and he's nodding at the computer.
What if he swore? Would you be able to beep it out on YouTube or no?
No.
So it doesn't matter. There's no FCC violation if someone accidentally swore or something.
I ask people two things whenever there's, and we have a thing at the bottom now that runs that says the opinions shared in this broadcast are of the participants alone and do not necessarily reflect the views of 321 Media or its sponsors.
You specifically do that for just the Sports Open Mic for Toscano's.
Well, yeah, no, I had to do it for Paul.
It's like this guy doesn't know what he's talking about here.
No, but I specifically say to everybody, I don't want to talk politics on the channel ever. Right. Like we don't need to talk politics. Yeah. There's other places for that.
Sure.
Other forums for that. And you can and during sports games, absolutely no swearing. It is absolutely PG, etc. Like treat it like you're on NBC.
Yeah.
But for a podcast, people can use their own discretion and judgment. The only thing that I say is nothing if you're crude or you say something like too out,
like cringeworthy. Like
you have free speech. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to say.
You want to reel that in, right?
But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to say, okay, that was too far.
My question is more in the lines.
You can say shit though, or
well, right? You know what I mean. But my point is, on the game, a kid makes a great play or there's a foul, and has there ever been an issue where someone swore, like commentator or camera person? That's good.
People in the crowd.
Well, of course. Of course. You can't stop that.
I think maybe someone has said ass.
Yeah.
I
put Jack in front of it. That's what I am. You know what I mean?
No. You are a banana.
A banana.
You are a banana.
That's not something. It's not flagrant, so to speak, or a swear or a bad word.
Would that make your dad the banana tree?
He definitely, it's apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Neither does the banana.
No way. The banana, and it's the shape of the banana. It doesn't roll at all. So that thing's sticking around. So Pops and I, and my son probably shakes his head saying, where the heck did I get this?
Yeah.
And I said, it's from Nanoots. It's not from me. So I'm just a product of my environment.
I love it.
Yeah. So that's
the
deal. All right. So now how much time are we in on this podcast?
We have 2 minutes left.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in.
Gratitude is the attitude.
Yes. I use this with a lot of people that I don't want to say are struggling, but are challenged, saying, oh, geez, I'm kind of stressed about this. This isn't going right there. I said, you know what you need to do every single day? Get a notebook, get a journal, and date it, and write 10 things that you're grateful for every day. No one has disagreed with me. A vast majority have not done it. Because you know why? It's simple. What's simple to do is simple not to do, according to Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, not R-O-M-E. So, and
I just remember Jim Rome, the sports guy from the.
So most people think when I'm quoting Jim Rohn, they think I'm quoting Jim Rome, like Rome as in the capital of Italy.
Yeah.
But no, it's R-O-H-N. I met him 7 years after he died. Not in person, obviously, but he's a wealth of knowledge. He really is. He's fantastic. And he has these zingers, work harder on yourself than you do in your job.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees with that one as well. But they don't necessarily do that. And the reason why for gratitude, Ben, specifically writing 10 things down, is to become emotionalized. If you could all 10, that'd be great. But with just one of those things. And Theo's affection. Theo, as in Theodore, but his real name's Theo, is my dog. He's a 42-pound Australian Shepherd, and he shows me affection every day. Every single day. More so than the kids in the house and the wife in the house. He's wonderful.
She'll show you more affection once you take her to the Nick to see the Knickerbocker
right, there you
All-Stars.
Go. Get a little dancing going on. But my point to this is once you get emotionalized with that gratitude, you cannot be simultaneously stressed or anxious. And you need to make this a habit, because we tend to make our anxieties, our doubts, our worries, our stresses habits subconsciously. And that's what we need to change. And that's where the gratitude exercises come in, because once you do it every day, you're equipping yourself with an arsenal of material to help you get out of a funk of depression, anxiety, stress, anger, whatever negativity it is. And it's helped me tremendously. Again, don't forget, in 2018 and then again in 2019, I was living in a psychiatric institution. I was just a shell of myself because of the thought process of where I went. People say, well, there's a chemical imbalance, so don't put it all on yourself. Well, who caused the chemical imbalance? I don't know. But regardless, I think it was me. If it wasn't, it doesn't matter. I still was in a psychiatric institution. Still had to get out. You know what I mean? Whether you're screwed up on drugs, alcohol, pills, whatever it may be, that's where you are. Don't be emotional about that. Be neutral, but know where you're going. Get emotional about where you're going. We've talked about that before. What's your feedback on this dissertation that I'm giving?
Maybe you need to go back to the second.
Right. You better check yourself back in.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're saying right now.
I can drive you. I'd be happy to.
Lock them up. Get them in there. Padded room. I've been in a padded room, literally and figuratively.
I've heard, I think it was the Netflix documentary, I'm Not Your Guru, the Tony Robbins documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Where he talks about starting his day with gratitude. And he says, you can't be fearful and grateful at the same time. So if you are actively practicing gratitude, it's going to take away the other fearful emotions. Because it's and you know, it's incredibly powerful to be to sit in that gratefulness, and
even when the world's crashing down around you,
there's always something. There's always something to be grateful for, and I find that it helps to be specific about it. You know, I am grateful for my family. You can't say that every day.
Yeah, like what meat is behind that, or you know, emotion is behind that. Family, it could be a number of things. Yes, great point, great insight.
I'm grateful for my family. You know, like if you start writing down the things that you're grateful for every day, and every day it's I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my health, and I'm grateful for my job that allows me to do these things. Or maybe you're not grateful for your job, but if you write those 3 things down every single day, you are going to quit doing it, because you're not going to see the point in it every day. You're gonna,
unless you can put emotion with it.
But if you can put emotion with it, if you can go, I'm grateful for this moment today where Theo came to me and he just sat with me for a minute.
Big kiss.
And it really, did he know that I had a bad interaction at the store, and that my car wouldn't start, and that I stepped in a snowbank? Like, I don't know, because I had these moments, and then he came and he gave me the kiss.
He's a great
and
kisser.
He sat with me.
Great kisser. Not better than my wife.
I think Betty's getting jealous.
That's why we got a dog, because everybody's like, "Oh, you need a dog."
So anyway, that's the, you know, if you can sit in those moments and really go like, this is what I'm grateful for today. And it's a great thought experiment, because you're challenging yourself to focus on the good. There was my 3rd grade teacher, I think, do I have a blank white piece of paper? Hold on.
3rd grade teacher.
My 3rd grade teacher.
Do we know the year?
Do I know the year? 1996. I
was sowing my oats then.
What do you see on this piece of paper?
A dot. Black dot.
All right. So
I don't have glasses on. So.
You're right. What do you see on this paper? You see a black dot.
Well,
right?
Yeah, right.
What else?
Does the camera see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're playing with the camera too, the audience.
Yeah.
What else do I see? I see an envelope. I see a white envelope.
Forget the fact that it's an envelope. There we go. No one else sees this. You see what's on this piece of paper? A black dot, right?
A black dot.
Okay. This black dot is all of the negative things in the world, right? It's everything that the news focuses on. It's everything that you worry about. That black dot is all of the negative.
This is 3rd grade teacher telling
3rd grade teacher. This black dot is all of the negative stuff in the world that you focus on.
Okay.
All of the white stuff, all of the, no one ever mentions the white all around the paper. No one notices. They just notice that little black dot.
Yeah. Well, when you said, "What is this? What do you see here?"
What do you see here?
Yeah.
No one says,
"Love it, Ben."
No one says a solid white paper with a little black dot. You focus.
Who was your 3rd grade teacher?
That was actually a sub. It was Miss.
It was a sub.
Yeah, it was Mrs. Azanari, something like that. Azanaro.
I think you owe her.
I gotta look. Listen. If she's still around,
was she old then?
I think so. She also had a classic one that she did.
I like that.
What is I can jump higher than the clock?
I can jump higher than the clock.
She would, if we didn't want to do an assignment, she would say, "I'll bet you, and if you lose the bet, you have to do the assignment. But if you win the bet, you guys just have a free day." And we would go, "All right." And she would go, "See that clock on the wall? I know you didn't know this about Mrs. Azanaro. I can jump higher than that clock." And we'd be like, No, you can't.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You're not an athlete, right? And then she would do a little bunny hop. And then she'd look at the clock and she'd go, all right, your turn. And then she would go, well, guys, the clock didn't jump.
Right. I jumped higher than the clock.
So do your work. and so, yeah, she was.
You could use that once.
Yeah, but she had tons of those.
Right.
And yeah, so she was amazing. But the black dot thing always got me. We focus on the negative. We focus on the thing that draws our attention to it.
It's like The Notebook, right? What do you see here? Is there any writing on that book?
No.
It says on there, self-improvement, Paul Jancarella Jr. with his cell phone number, which is 401-741-0162. Only if you're going to prank. Don't call me. So what the point was that Bob Proctor was making is that's what you're seeing from your perspective, and this is what I'm seeing from my perspective, the writing on it. You know what I mean? And it's like, we tend to just be focused in on ourselves, and that's when you have a problem. Take yourself out of the chair, wherever you are, and look at it from a physically different perspective.
Yeah.
But that's nonsense for so many people. Just like gratitude exercise is nonsense to so many people. But to me, it's helped me. Yes, I have a mental illness, but I am no longer mentally ill. There's a lot to be said for that. It's just like a drug addict. Yes, I'm a drug addict, but I'm no longer addicted to drugs. But you have to get to that point. You have to make the decision when you're addicted to the stuff, and then you can move past it. And that's what it is. You know what I mean? I'm a millionaire. I'm a multimillionaire. Well, I'm not now, but I am in my mind, and I live from that perspective, and that will draw me in. But my mantra is love. Love is the foundation of my success. Don't you like that one better than money?
I do.
That's what I'm all about. Relationships.
I'm all about that green, baby.
Right. But you know what? The green, yes. But the thing is, the green's a byproduct.
Yes.
For me, love. For someone else, relationships. For someone else, what they do. You know what I mean? And it's a byproduct. It's not the end all be all. But money, it goes where it's invited.
Yeah.
But stays where it's welcomed. So if you don't have a good relationship with money, which I thought was crazy when I first heard this, I said, that doesn't make sense to me. But relationship is just like a person. Goes where it's invited, stays where it's welcomed.
I recently, we are expanding at 321. We're moving into new school districts and stuff. And by the way, thank you, because you're the person that got us into Stonington.
Well, I got you the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
So
you got yourself into Stonington.
Appreciate you.
Yes. Well, thank you.
So we're moving on, and we're gonna have some announcements in the next week or so that I'm excited about. But I literally, as I was mapping out this plan with people this morning, I'm looking at the stuff and I'm like, okay, this is these are the advertisers that we need to get. I went through some of it with you.
Sure.
These are the advertisers that we need to get in blah, 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 blah. And then I put out where the allocation of all of that money goes to, right? So if we get these advertisers for this new school, this is where it goes to, right? The internet bill for that school, the equipment for that school, a new announcer for that school, a new producer for that school, a new camera person for that school. It's all itemized. And the person that was, as a business owner, right, I should be looking at profit and how to make more money for myself and stuff, right? But when I'm allocating all of that out, I'm allocating it for the just to hire new people and to do that stuff. And I was actually questioned about that, not by my business partner or anybody, just by somebody who was whatever. And I said, my purpose and 321's purpose is not to create a profit for me. It's a business, and it will
initially,
and initially. Yeah. my purpose is we have this great product that has done really wonderful things in Westerly, Chariho, and Stonington. And when we get emails and comments and DMs and phone calls from grandparents and aunts and uncles and people watching from all around
that
locally
physically can't get to the game.
physically can't get to the game, or we're injured, or we're we've had somebody call us and say, hey, I was in the hospital and I still got to see my kid's game.
It's not just people living in Arizona.
No, and it is people living in Arizona.
It's not just,
but
it's not just those people. It's other people like, oh, I was sick with the flu or whatever. Or,
and when you're
putting quarantine,
and also now, like, we're creating these things. Like, we have the show Roll Call on Monday nights, with Westerly Town Manager Sean Lacey, Paul Gingerella, no relation.
He says that all the time. Not related to that banana.
Yeah, of course.
So Sean, Paul,
and Paul, and
I like the name Roll Call.
Yeah, and like last night we had the Charlestown Rescue Chief on, Charlestown Ambulance Rescue Chief on, nice. Andrew Kettle, and but my point is, and we have the Chamber of Commerce show every Thursday morning, and we have this new show Shining Lights where we talk to the nonprofits and stuff. We're highlighting all of these businesses and nonprofits and organizations and events in the towns that we are in. And that is like a great community service for those places. And it becomes a great thing for, I owned a marketing company and still do, but I've owned a marketing company for a lot of years. And it's really hard sometimes for a, company that sells some sort of like sometimes like a landscaping company, right? Mm-hmm. For example, it can be really hard for like a landscaping company to have their own social media presence and build a following and do all of that stuff. When they're starting from zero and they're doing all of that stuff. And it's very easy for them to just advertise on our following and piggyback on that and, take a small amount of content, and then they don't have to worry. They can just worry about focusing on their business.
Right. Their skill set isn't in
advertising or marketing or whatever. Right. So they can just budget. Do that. And it's easier. It's less expensive. Right.
And they get a lot more exposure.
And they get a lot more exposure
than print or than the radio. Or,
but my point is, what do you measure success in, and what do you measure all of that stuff in? And if we can, and another aspect of it is, I have really fallen in love with the idea of helping kids that want to get into broadcasting and sports broadcasting. We have shows now on the network where there are some college kids that literally they have the key code to the door.
I love those kids.
And they know how to do the streams, and they come in, and I taught them how to produce, and they produce their own stuff. And like I told you about the content warnings earlier, I was just like, hey, don't do this. Don't do this. Right. One of the kids,
but they're good.
No, one of the kids had a show, and they didn't, like, him and a group of his friends didn't think that one of the other kids on the show was appropriate enough and professional enough.
Yeah.
They changed it. They had a conversation with him. They were like, I don't think that you can be a part of this. And they self-policed.
Right. Which is good.
And
because they're taking what they're doing seriously. Because this is a great venue and it's a great platform, but don't sabotage yourself.
Exactly. Yes. And my point behind this whole thing is I'm incredibly grateful for that.
Oh, and generous.
So I'm incredibly grateful for that. So when we're talking about opening up new things, opening up new avenues, opening up all of those other things, I'm not concerned about myself. I'm concerned about building the best thing that we possibly can, and the rest will take care of itself. You know what I mean?
But that will take care of itself.
The rest will take care of itself. But my focus is building the best thing that we can do for the community. And so, and one of the things that we do for the community is shows like this, Paul.
Yeah.
And I'm incredibly grateful, and I have an attitude of gratitude for this show specifically. No, I mean that. I genuinely mean that.
It is important.
I think that talking about mental health is incredibly important. I think I have therapy in 8 minutes.
Yeah. Well, something, we chuckle, you say that therapy, but if you said you have an appointment with a coach or an advisor or a therapist, it should all be synonymous. But because I go to see a therapist, everyone's like, oh, geez, yeah, he's got some mental health issues. I go to a therapist because I don't need the therapy right there. That's why I'm to that point. It's like going to a chiropractor every week. I do that every week.
Yeah.
I don't go because I have a bad back and a bad neck.
Yeah.
It's preventative.
By the way, we had a chiropractor in here moments before you.
Oh, yeah? Who?
Ben Algier.
Okay.
Dr.
Where's
Ben
he out
Algier.
of?
Richmond.
Richmond?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big advocate for chiropractic care because it's preventative maintenance. Healthy spine, healthy body.
Yep. That's exactly what he was talking about in there.
Right.
It's easier to keep people
healthy.
That's
what this is all about, Ben.
Yeah.
You're right. And it's great. And I don't say wish, but I just want people to really invest in themselves specifically. We invest in so much stuff out there and we don't invest in ourselves and our minds and our thoughts. And that's just so important because it'll get you anything you want.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that you have pushed hard for at me is, hey, are you working too much? Are you doing this too much? Are you doing,
just go down over that street. If you it's like anything else.
Yeah.
You can be addicted to work.
Oh, I get addicted to work for sure.
You can be addicted to religion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's unhealthy things with healthy things,
Yep.
So you need to really have things in moderation and balance and things. And again, it doesn't have to be everything that I do, but it's everything
that get addicted to self-help too.
Well, you can, and that could be a bad thing because you know why? I can come across so preachy to my wife and my kids. Get off the ivory tower, Paul. Just sit down, have a conversation with us. Don't have to say these things and these one-liners. You know what I mean? And I find myself that way sometimes. So that is a very true statement. So I'm, again, I'm grateful as well because I have this platform and I do it once a week, and repetition is the mother of learning. That's what we have to understand. Once we do something over and over again, why I read a book over and over again, it's getting something new every time I read it. And it's not that it wasn't there before. It's something that wasn't within me before, something that I found new in myself. And that's important. I think a healthy Ben Barber and a healthy Paul Jancarella Jr. is a healthier world.
I agree.
That's simple,
I agree.
But sometimes we worry about taking care of this person, that person, and we're not taking care of ourselves. What happens? Well, you put the oxygen mask on everybody else but yourself in the plane.
Yep.
Now you don't have any oxygen to breathe and live, and now you're dead. That's why they say put it on yourself first, then your children. Okay.
What are you grateful for today, Paul?
Today, specifically, I'm grateful for the two things that make the list most of the time. One is my wife, because she is kind of one of those people that she's focused on what she's going to feed me or what I'm going to do. And I thank her for that. She's like, well, if I don't feed you, you'll be like a bear and be ornery. I said, okay. So I'm thankful for my loving wife of 24 years. I really am. Betty.
You said ornery, right?
Ornery.
Ornery.
Did I pronounce it right?
Ornery.
Like an old man's ornery.
Ornery.
Yeah. Did I say it right? My accent was probably bad.
I mean, it sounded like
I got a truck driver accent.
It sounded like something else for a minute. So that's why I wanted to clarify.
Right. No, that
sounded like there was an H in front of the word. So
she knows that too. But in Theo's number two. I love taking walks with Theo because it's not so much me walking Theo, it's Theo walking me. And that's therapeutic to me. You know what I mean? I'm able to let my head drain and space and filter of thoughts and things, and it helps.
Yeah,
it really does. It can also hurt. You could also be thinking about bad things too on a walk. So you have to be in control of your thoughts.
Awesome.
That's it.
Awesome. Yeah.
You know, we can sign off, I guess.
Yeah. You didn't
What
ask
time
me
is
what
it?
I was grateful for. I just want.
Well,
to
you
point
said
that
it about
out.
3 times. What 3 things you were grateful for. One happened to be.
I'm grateful for you, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for you.
Yeah,
I'm grateful
sure.
for you and the fact that you're a reminder every week.
You know what I'm
to
not
get my
grateful for?
To get my potassium in.
Potassium. I'm the banana.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm
Yeah.
your banana.
Yeah.
But I'm not grateful. You know how some people hear themselves, their voice recorded, like, oh, geez, that doesn't sound like me.
Yeah.
It's not so much my laugh. It's my expression when I laugh. It's ugly. I don't like when I'm like, you know, it's bad. Yeah, I got to work on that. I got to work on a new laugh reaction.
I don't watch any of this back.
No, I do some of it. Yeah.
I'm a shark that just keeps moving forward. You know, like I can't watch any of the stuff.
People say, send me
back.
one of your podcasts. I have to look at it first to say, okay, am I being a banana too much or whatever?
I can't do it.
I'll just send him the YouTube link then. Is that all you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
I can't watch myself. Yeah. I can't do it. Well, I mean, like
we're going to work up to that.
Well, I think it was Conan O'Brien or Stephen Colbert or somebody that said, like, you know, the great thing about doing like the late night shows is that there's no, you know, you go back and watch episodes of Friends or The Office or MASH or Cheers or whatever.
Yeah.
And like there's 150 of them, 200 of them. You know what I mean? And
Episodes.
and 200 something episodes. And every single one of those episodes, you know, these shows ran for 10 years each and whatever. And each of those 200 episodes, you remember, if you're a fan of them, you go back and you remember every line of them. And you know, people have to watch it over and over and over again. You do a daily show like late night or like Conan or something, right? You do 200 of those shows a year. Nobody remembers any. They remember some moments, but they don't remember anything that you do, and you don't need to go back and watch it, and you don't need to, you know.
That's a good point. That's interesting.
So the fact that there's another one tomorrow night, great. I don't need to put all of the pressure on this one, which is nice for me,
right?
But I do this 25 times a week. You do it once. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Right, once a week.
Yeah, you do it once a week. I do it 25 times a week.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
right, exactly. You're not going.
I can't go back and watch all of them, or I'll hate myself for many reasons. But
exactly.
Anyway, thank you, Paul.
My pleasure. I look forward to seeing you next week.
Absolutely, Coach Mindset Mastery, CoachMindsetMastery.com. Check out Paul, or give him a call. Only if it's a prank.
Only prank phone calls though. 401-741. 0162. That's a text line.
Okay.
But you could also call it.
Text it. And I will see you at the Nick.
Yeah, Valentine's Day.
Day.
No, I probably won't be there.
Paul, listen.
I'm not a dancer. I cause people to dance.
All right. I'm late for therapy. Bye, everybody.
I'll see you. Touchdown, West Philly!
A chance for the Chargers, and they score!
In the front, Luzzy again!